Hey guys, welcome back to Reality Check, Please. I'm your host, Cassie, and happy Wednesday. We are coming at you pretty late in the evening. We just finished watching Watch What Happens Live. I had to make a TikTok during the episode because Andy continues to give us some tea, and we are here to cover it all. But before we do that, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We are so close to our next goal of 1,000 subscribers, you guys. It's been a long journey from the beginning, and I cannot thank you guys enough. It's been such an overwhelming past few months since we started covering Love Island USA. I want to thank you guys so much from the bottom of my heart. Continue to give us a little bit of engagement. You have no idea how much a little goes a long way. Help us get us in front of new faces. We are going to be covering the Love is Blind UK, Perfect Match, what else? The Valley, Real Housewives of OC. We're going to be covering it all. So continue to pop off in the comment section. You guys are truly so amazing. We're so close. I could taste it. Let's see if we can try and get to 1,000 by this weekend. So with that, let's jump right in. So I had to write my notes like on a napkin here on my desk because I was just like, go, 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 go. Andy starts off the episode, obviously welcoming Bryan, Amaya, and Nic and Olandria. Honestly, my first comment, Amaya and Bryan matched more their outfits today than they did yesterday with what we saw. I have no idea what Bryan was thinking wearing the jacket that he was wearing, but okay. Andy definitely gives us a little insight, lets us know that they will be spilling a ton of tea, and I am so ready for it. Some of the polls that were asked in tonight's episode, one of them being, who was the one Islander that left too soon? All Bryan, Nic, and Olandria all said Jeremiah. However, the public voted Hannah. The next question, I missed the first question. I can't remember for the life of me what it was. It was like a two-person question. So if you guys remember what it was, drop it down below. The third question was Ace the ringleader? Everyone said no, but the audience said yes. The next question was, whose side were you on, Redacted or Jeremiah? The Islanders were a little hesitant to answer, but the public voted Jeremiah. They did say that they talked a lot throughout the reunion, so I'm expecting another high tension kind of screaming match. I mean, if it goes any different than what we saw in the villa, I'd be honestly so surprised. I think Jeremiah has been such a gentleman outside and doing these podcasts. And he's said before, anything that I say, I'll say it to your face, or I won't say anything until I've already said it to your face. So I think that's also why he's just been so quiet, because Redacted stayed in the villa a lot longer and they don't follow each other. I'm assuming he has not talked to her until last night. Andy also asked Olandria and Shelly if this was the first time they saw Redacted, and they said yes, and that it was kind of a very like another high tension moment. Another question in the polls was, who was Taylor's perfect match or something like that? The audience obviously chose Clark, and Landria was kind of a little awkward. She says, you know what? It should be 100% because she's happy with Nic, and we see it. The final poll was very shady considering the two couples that it was about were on set with Andy. It said who was a couple that would last the longest, and the public voted Nic Olandria. Andy kind of makes light of the situation. He says, you know what, Amaya and Bryan, you guys won the show. Nic Olandria, you guys win the poll. So he does good in these types of situations. I shared it in one of the previous videos earlier today, but we were covering Andy's stories. I think it was our first video, and how one of the stories that he had shared was how he knows how to break the tension and switch gears in some of the most awkward conversations, like he did with the Valley, and how he took a high tension moment and switched on over to, have you heard Hooters is closing? And so I said this in some comments earlier. A lot of people are not happy with Andy being the reunion host, and that's your opinion, and you're entitled to your opinion. However, we have to remember, guys, professionally, he's done almost, if not already, over 200 reunions. He has not just done Bravo, he's done the Kardashians, not just Housewives, not just Vanderpump, Summer House, Southern Charm. He has done a lot of reunions. I think the Housewives alone is over 100. Back in 2023, per Google, he was already at 161. There has been 2 seasons of each franchise since then. And so count how many franchises and then times 2 it, basically. So he has been a busy bee. He does reunions like he changes his underwear at this point, honestly. So he is such a natural. He was honestly the perfect person to pair Ariana with in this reunion. They also have history. They have 10 years of history. They also have great chemistry. He did share on his stories yesterday, and we saw it earlier today, that he was having such a great time with Ariana. He said he loved her. He enjoyed his time with her, and he enjoyed his time doing the Love Island reunion. I think it probably takes him back to when he hosted the very first VPR reunion, Vanderpump Rules, because they were also in their mid to late 20s. I think Stassi was like 23 when they first filmed it. And so I could be very wrong with that math, but she was like in her early 20s. it probably takes him back, honestly. So he knows how to deal and handle these types of situations. He did give us some tea. He did drop a bomb. He said that we are going to get the full uncut version of the heart rate challenge. And I think that alone is going to make Redacted sweat, because her defenders love to say, she had every right to do what she did. And she did. To a certain extent, she had every right to go all out. It's the fact that she doesn't know when to stop and she crosses boundaries. All the other girls had such respect and knew when to not cross a boundary with Jeremiah. None of the girls ever explored Jeremiah early on because she was so locked in on him, and they respected that. And although the boundary was not set verbally, it was like an unspoken boundary, an unspoken line of respect that they chose not to cross. But she cannot return that favor. And so I think that honestly, we may get to see a different light of the situation. And I'm happy that we are, because that was a huge controversial moment in the season. So yeah, it's going to be a good one. We are going to get a lot of answers, a lot of questions answered. Going back to the redacted of it all, her defenders like to say she had every right to do what she did. And people are, oh, it's Shelly versus redacted. To a certain extent, maybe. We also have to remember she was apologetic. And if she was not in the wrong, why would she apologize? Remember that. We have to clock that. So a lot of these Islanders have said, she kept saying, like, I'm sorry. I know what I did was wrong. I know that I overdid it. So if that still doesn't clock to her defenders and her fans, I truly don't know what will. I have a feeling that even after we see the footage, her fans are going to be such invested, and they've moved into Delulu land to, I think, to the point where I fear that they're still not going to get it. And they're still going to continue to ride hard for her. I could be wrong. I'm hopeful. I've said this before and I'll say it again. We can criticize without there being hate. Like, just because we criticize and we're critical of each Islander individually and in different ways, that does not mean we hate them. It goes back to holding people accountable. A friend to me is not someone who's going to tell me what I want to hear. It's going to be someone who checks me when I'm wrong. Maybe not in public, but in private for sure. My honest hope is that they stand on business for real this time. They don't back down and they say what they need to say with their whole chest, and that they're able to check one another respectfully, because a lot of people, whether you want to believe it or not, they did tiptoe around redacted. And so I think that they will. I think with the help of Andy, maybe even Ariana, they will be able to navigate through their words and try to get their point across in a respectful manner, obviously. So I'm very hopeful for this reunion. I think pairing Andy again with Ariana is the perfect storm. Last season, we got an hour and 20 minutes, and 20 minutes was just them giving us the footage. I hope that they either speed it up or it's not a 20-minute clip, because I don't think I can do 20 minutes of just a conversation, guys. I really don't. I think we need to ask Peacock if we can all come together and ask Peacock for a 3-part reunion or a 3-hour long reunion, because it's going to divide it into that either way. If we do it over 3 weeks, an hour a week, or if we do a 3-hour reunion, I will be happy with either one. But pop off in the comment section. Let me know what you think. If you caught any other hot take that the Islanders dropped on tonight's Watch What Happens Live, leave them down below. Continue to help us push our channel out into the YouTube algorithm. We are so close to 1,000. I can taste it. And with that, I hope you guys have a great night. We'll catch you tomorrow with some more reality checks. Bye, guys. Have a great night.